All right, everybody mask up because we got a radio show to do for the next 4 hours, and it might involve getting close together. You know what I'm saying? Hey there, friends. Thursday edition, April 29, 2021. It is Matt and Val on Talk 99.5. We start live and local conversation for the next 13 hours right now on your radio. Call a friend or a neighbor and let them know what we're doing here. We would love to have additional listening from anybody. And you know what? You can gather together as many people as you want around your radio, and we won't even ask that you mask up, even if you're the Vice President of the United States or the Speaker of the House. More on that a little bit later on, because I know many of you did not watch the speech last night. And normally I would tell you, by God, we watch those things so you don't have to, although I failed you. Right now, let's introduce the players of the show, get things underway. Let's see how many people on this radio show failed you in watching the address to the nation and a joint session of Congress. All right, so there's Jason Lee. He's behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as possible. Jason Lee, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. You look great. You look great. Jason Lee making an appearance on Facebook Live. If you missed it, you might want to go and check that out. Was that your first appearance on Facebook Live? Second, maybe?
That was second, I think, yeah.
Well, very good. Excellent. Do you watch any of that address to the nation?
I saw some curated highlights.
That's for those of you in Aniana, Jason just said no. All right, so Stacey Nichols is back in the newsroom. I am certain that Stacey is busy gathering headlines, and I'm also certain that she watched plenty of the speech last evening. Slim Rob over in the traffic center, keeping you aware of what's going on the roadways. And then, as always, we save the best for last. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together for Valerie.
Good morning, everyone. You're very sweet, Matt Murphy. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Matt, Jason, everybody listening this morning. Hope you had a great Wednesday evening.
I was up late last night because, see, here's the deal, Valerie.
What's the deal?
Let's be real here. Of course, I was just joking about not watching the speech. Here's the thing, Valerie. You watch and you DVR it. Because what you got to do, Valerie, you got to go back and you got to watch again. You cannot possibly digest this speech in one viewing. It takes a multiple viewing approach to make sure that you really get the subtle nuance of what Joe Biden's trying to tell us last night.
Is that how you watched it last night?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't just get it all in one sitting, in one take.
So you watched it how many times?
In one bite. It's like a fine wine. You gotta enjoy it.
Oh
you
my gosh.
Sniff of it. Like Joe Biden sniffing a little girl's hair.
That's the cheap.
Get in there and
that's the cheap wine on the bottom shelf there. That's the one you got.
It's like Citizen Kane, Valerie. You got to watch the movie, then watch it again. We talked about Apocalypse Now earlier in the week.
Yes, we did.
You can't catch all of those subtle references and whatnot. I mean, Francis Ford Coppola is a master.
He is a master, and I would watch that multiple times. But this speech last night, not so much.
No?
No. I saw about 3 minutes of it. I said, I really wanted to turn it on just to kind of see, we heard that there were going to be about 200 people there versus the typical 1,600. And I said, I want to see what that looks like. Is everybody going to be wearing masks? And of course,
everyone was.
Yes, everyone was. Then Joe took his off in order to deliver the speech. Heard about 3 minutes of it and said, I can't do this.
Is this where we are in the United States of America, where grown people look at the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, the Speaker of the House, my God in heaven, they're wearing masks for no reason, and we all recognize that it's just a bunch of baloney dog and pony show, but we go, oh, well, they should do it because they need to set an example to the rest of America.
That's exactly why they did it.
So stupid.
It is stupid. It is stupid.
Take it off.
You have a room full of vaccinated people and everybody has a mask on and you are all separated. Are you not? Is this not overkill?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
I mean, beyond that.
We've been tested. We've been vaccinated. We've been separated.
And now we're wearing the masks still. And I asked this over on Facebook Live. When are we going to, what's the end? When do you say, okay, it is safe to remove your mask, especially in that setting if everyone is vaccinated? If you can't take off your mask in that setting, according to them, then you can never take it off. There's never what's the end to it?
These virtue signaling, holier than thou, media elitists, celebrity elitists and government elitists have painted themselves into a corner.
Yes.
And it all began, I understand, mask, wash your hands, be safe, do the things necessary to keep yourself from getting the virus, right? Mm-hmm. Same as flu, whatever. Flu season, whatever. I get all of that. But it all started when the media began questioning, well, why isn't the president of the United States wearing a mask? And this is when Donald Trump was president.
Right.
And Donald Trump said, well, I mean, I'm the most secure guy on the planet. Now, he got COVID, but it's like, there's not a functional need for me to wear a mask 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they began a process by which they painted themselves in a corner. And I don't know when Joe Biden stops wearing a mask.
Yeah, I don't know that either. Because here's what happens. If he says, all right, I'm making the decision, I'm no longer going to wear a mask, then don't you ask, why, Joe Biden, are you not going to wear a mask anymore? I thought you said even if you're vaccinated, you still need to wear a mask. You're exactly right. They've painted themselves in a corner as to when they can end this.
And he's sitting there talking about how wonderful the vaccines are and how effective the vaccines are. If the vaccines are so damn effective,
then get rid of the mask.
Then why is everyone in the room wearing a mask?
It's crazy.
Now, and don't tell, well, because you could still be a kid. We did a show yesterday that illustrates the buffoonery that's going on in Washington, D.C. Well, hold on a second. The vaccine's effective. So if I can't get coronavirus, I should be able to be without a mask. But what about other people, Matt? Well, every other person that I know of has the ability to go out and schedule themselves a vaccination.
Yes.
So if I'm not vaccinated, that's my choice.
It's readily available. Anybody that wants it can get it. As of right now, you can get it if you want it. If you don't want it.
And you always get the yeah, but. Yeah, but we don't know if, ... Well, when the hell are we going to run out of yeah, but? And that's your question.
Yeah.
When are we going to run out of yeah, buts so that we can move on with our lives without interference from the damn government? Because that's what it is. It's all about control. It's all about making sure that you see the example. You good little subjects, you see the damn example that Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris set last night, okay? Because that's the way you ought to act. And if you're not acting that way, you're not being good little subjects. That's what they want. They don't want citizens. They don't want freedom. They want subjects.
And why doesn't somebody ask, hey, Joe Biden, we're vaccinated. What is the end of this? Do you need a certain percentage of people in the U.S. vaccinated before you can stop wearing a mask? What is the end? What is the parameter that you're looking for where you can say, okay, we're all good, everybody's vaccinated, remove the mask. Those of you that still maybe have some underlying conditions that want to wear it,
sure.
It's up to you if you want to wear a mask, but everybody else that's been vaccinated, we're done with the masks. Let's move on with life. What is that parameter?
Valerie.
And yet, we don't know what that is.
Valerie.
And you're right, they've painted themselves in a corner. They'll be wearing a mask 3 years from now. Why not? What's going to be the stop? Hold
on, I just realized something. The way we're talking this morning for the last 10 minutes,
yes,
we're not going to be able to have 4th of July. I mean, the way we're talking this morning,
yeah.
Joe Biden's listening to this radio show right now.
No weenies, no burgers.
There's no cooking out. There's no visiting with family and friends. I mean, we've got to work a little harder than this if we want to shoot off a few fireworks. You want one of those Roman candles in your life? Wear a damn mask.
It's the ridiculousness of last night is just glaring. Again, a room full of vaccinated people, separated, all wearing masks, and you only have 200 in the room. I don't understand that.
I just got a great mental image in my head of 4th of July where kids are blowing off their pinky fingers with fireworks, but they got the mask on. I got the mask on. You've got to demonstrate to the subjects how they're supposed to act. Otherwise, we children will not know how to act. This is the way that our fathers in government look at us. Now, beyond the mask thing, and let me peel back the curtain, I had a project going on. I'll tell you what that was later on. And it did not end until, just before the speech. Mm-hmm. Probably 7:30, 7:45. I'm wrapping up my motorcycle project. And I say to myself, we've got to get our hands washed. We got to get our, face, we got to get ready. We got to go upstairs, make a beverage, and sit right down and get to work, Valerie,
Get to work.
because it is our job to watch this nonsense so that the people of Alabama don't have to, so we can report back.
I tried, everybody. I tried.
I could not do it.
No.
I could not do it.
No.
Could not do it. You know what I watched? Bob's Burgers. That's what I watched.
Bob's Burgers.
I did.
I think
my
I
God.
went over to the Home Network channel and watching some of the, redoing of the houses where they go in and just refurbish the whole thing. I love those shows. But I did 3 minutes and I couldn't do it. I said, I want eyeballs on what it looks like. I want to hear a couple of minutes. And I thought, how long can I go before I'm going to throw something at the television? And then I finally just turned away from it.
By the way, Squirrel, hometown, Wetumpka, Alabama.
Yes, how about
New
that?
episodes coming in about a week.
Yeah.
Watch for the antique curio cabinet with the curved leaded glass pieces in it. It's my father-in-law.
That is so cool that he's a part of that.
He was grumpy enough. I don't think he made it on camera.
Oh,
He was all grumpy about the whole
Why
thing.
grumpy?
He was grumpy. They don't. My father-in-law.
they don't.
My
do
father. They don't do all this work
work.
themselves. Well, no crap, Bob. They're TV stars.
It's a TV show.
It's
yes.
a TV show.
There's workers in the background
oh,
that get it done fast.
They just show up and film, and they do some of the work, and they leave, and then contractors do the rest.
Right.
Right, Bob. Well, I don't think most. They're rich. Well, yeah, Bob. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't.
Here he has an
I don't know what
opportunity of a lifetime.
I don't know what to tell you.
and
Oh, no.
he was not impressed by that.
Pissed that there were so many people in his yard because they came over to the house and filmed in his
off my
shop.
lawn. Get off my
They
lawn.
said they brought over there's like 40 people.
That
They
is-
left their clapper. This is my father-in-law. They did. They left the clapper.
What an awesome opportunity. And I hate that, he was kind of.
It's Bob.
It's just Bob.
It's just Bob. Oh, they're just all standing around.
Well, this is a process. It's a
Did you want
TV
him?
show.
Did you want him to cut your grass? I mean, what? There's like 40 people standing around.
He's irritated.
No, he literally.
those rich TV
sorry.
people.
I just imagine your dad or your granddad saying this to you, just like 40 people standing around, and they went drinking coffee.
It is, if you've ever watched a movie being made, and we kind of saw that with Rickwood Field,
42.
there is an awful lot of you're standing around because they got to set up the next shot, and you go get that person and the makeup, and do they have the right outfit on? And hey, he's in the background, move him. What's that? I mean, it's so complicated and drawn out, but there is a lot of standing.
Of standing around. I have a question. I have a sincere question that I want the 6 o'clock freaks to try to give me an answer to. And it sounds like a rhetorical question, but I mean this. Last night, it's not the State of the Union. It was a joint address
to Congress. Yeah, it felt like State of the Union.
Well,
but
because
it
he
wasn't.
waited for 100 days to do it.
Right.
Last night, and I mean this sincerely. What do you believe would have happened had a Ted Cruz or someone taking their mask off in the middle of the speech? It's like, screw this, I'm done with this, and just take it off. I mean that. What do you think would happen?
They would have lost their
ever-loving mind. I mean, the media
yes.
would lose their ever-loving mind. But
Yeah.
I wonder if
they would have been called out. I think they would have been called out.
I think they would have been called out or hauled out.
And they would have loved that, to have been able to call
I don't know.
a Republican out for taking off their mask.
545-9950, 545-9950, 16 minutes after the hour. We just getting underway on this lovely Thursday edition of Matt and Val on Talk 99.5. Would love to hear from you. Lots to do, lots to get to. We'll do it all in 3 hours and 44 minutes. Trying to figure out who's doing this caterwauling. It's 21 minutes after 6 o'clock, and a good morning to you. We'd love to hear from you. Birmingham Broker phone line is up and available, 545-9950, 545-9950. Do us a favor and
go ahead and get rid of that one.
I'm intrigued by who that might be. I
don't know, but it's painful to listen to.
Angel.
The Eurythmics.
It's a really
that Annie
bad
Lennox?
That's the beautiful
Eurythmics.
Annie Lennox right there.
Oh,
Yeah. Why don't we just?
No wonder we didn't hear that one a lot on the radio.
Why don't we just stick to Missionary Man?
Yeah, there's about 3.
Sweet, what is it? Sweet dreams are made of this. Sweet dreams are made of this. Missionary Man. There's probably one other.
I think there's 3.
Okay.
And we'll just
Let's stick to the big hits.
No more deep cuts.
your job, Jason
Oh
Lee,
my God,
is
goodness.
you stick to the hits, pal. You know what? We could. I'm happy to give you an hour on the weekends.
Oh,
Deep cuts. Deep cuts with Jason Lee.
On. Taking you up on it.
Love those deep cut shows with those snobby. You ever what? Yes. Those snobby DJs that know better than you. You ever know one of those guys in your life that as soon as they love an artist, but as soon as that artist becomes popular,
it's no longer cool.
How dare anyone else have the audacity to like this band?
Yes.
No, I knew a guy in college, REM. Loved REM. Loved REM.
And the minute they got popular,
and then
that
they got
was
popular.
it.
Oh, they sold out, man. What?
Oh, goodness. This one brings us great joy, Jason. Just go ahead and X that one off the list.
I don't know that I would say joy, but yeah. All right. I need you to tell me what you thought of the speech, folks, because I didn't watch it. I saw the synopsis of it. I did. I admit that I got up early this morning to make sure that here's the deal.
You could probably tell us in less than 30 seconds.
I can tell you. Stacey Nichols stepping up to the microphone in 1 minute and 20 seconds, and I can tell you before then what Joe Biden said to the American people last night.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Go.
America is a racist country. It was born a racist country. It grew up a racist country. It remains a racist country. Also, we need to spend the rich people's money. The rich people are jerks, and we need to take their money and spend it. Oh, by the way, that's not enough money. So we're going to borrow other money, and we're going to spend other money. And if we throw enough money at it, America will still be a racist country. Thank you.
Wow. That's it in a nutshell, folks, right there.
Yeah. 545-9950, the telephone number if you'd like to be a part of the show. Joe Biden spoke to America last night.
Aren't you glad you missed it?
It's as if he was trying to bore us to death. I mean, to death.
It was pretty boring, the part that I saw.
Ted Cruz fell asleep. Ted Cruz
Do you blame him?
No.
I don't blame him.
Blame him either.
No.
Ask for a pillow. Jennifer, hang in there from Vestavia. We'll get to you momentarily. We'll talk COVID. We'll talk mask. We'll talk Alabama and daylight saving time coming up. Good-looking day. Man, oh, man. Valerie tells me, as we're listening to Stacey Nichols in the Talk 99.5 newsroom, that maybe some rain coming in. More on that in a moment after I remind you our phone lines are available, 545-9950. That's 205-545-9950, Birmingham broker phone lines. I also remind you that Med Center Mazda brings you this portion of the show. Let's talk Mazda, shall we? The CX-30 is really taking a lot of, it's getting a lot of accolades. And a lot of the car magazines, the review magazines that come out, they're saying the same thing, that this is a great affordable option that is a step above in luxury. It is also kind of in the middle of the 3 and the 5. If you know the 3, it's more of your compact style, zippy zoom. Then you have the 5, which is more of a family mid-sized SUV. And then there's the 30, which kind of fills the niche right in there. Go see it today at Med Center Mazda. Take it for a test drive. Med Center Mazda, great people, friendly people. They don't sell you cars. They find the one that's right for you. And there's a difference. MedCenterMazda.com. That's MedCenterMazda.com.
Birmingham broker phone lines. We got those open for you guys this morning. 6 o'clock freaks. Love to hear from you. 205-545-9950.
Weather.
Yes. A little cloudy this morning. If you're getting up, take a look out. But not a bad morning. We've got some rain that's going to move in late today into the evening hours and into Friday morning. And then it's looking pretty good for the weekend. It really is. The temperature on Friday will be about 78 for the high. Sunny on Saturday, and then just a little bit of a rain chance back in here on Sunday afternoon. But once we get through with this tomorrow morning, it should move on out.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yep.
Jennifer's first up this morning. Jennifer, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
Just great. Thanks for calling.
Question. Is the state still giving out that inflated unemployment for the COVID?
Money or...
Yeah.
Well, you can still get unemployment. The state, I don't think, ever gave additional money in unemployment because of COVID. The federal government did.
Okay. I was just wondering because I've seen a lot of businesses that are lacking employees, and some have closed because of it. And to me, that's like the beginning of socialism. If they keep funding so much inflated unemployment, people don't want to go back to work.
Well, I've heard it over and over again. You know, a good longtime sponsor of Talk 99.5, a company called The Maids, which I've talked about quite a bit. I was talking with Dean, the owner of The Maids, and he told me that he's having trouble finding good employees, and part of it is because, you know, and he pays well, by the way, at his company, and part of it is because individuals find that they can exist on the money they're getting, the supplemental money they're getting from the federal government, plus the money they're getting from the state government in terms of unemployment. You're right, Jennifer.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if that was just me overthinking something, but
no, I mean, if we're going to transition back to a free market society and not completely rely on the federal government for every aspect of our lives, yes, you're right. That has to go away, and there has to be a cutoff point where an expectation is that if you're an able-bodied person in Alabama, you're going to go find employment, and businesses are hiring.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. For your information, I think Jason Lee looks like Aquaman.
Aquaman. Wow. Wow.
I mean, that's okay.
Is this a good friend of Jason
Yeah,
Lee's?
have a good day.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer, before you go, for your information, I encourage you to go get an eye exam.
Oh.
I think she might.
Facts, y'all. Facts.
Oh, goodness. You know, she's so right, and we're hearing more and more about that. And, you know, it's not hard to connect the dots as to why we're having this issue with companies saying, I can't find an employee. They just an employee. Like, you know, hey, we're hiring, and there's like, you know, crickets chirping. They can't get anybody to come by, fill out an application. I mean, just like zero. And it all makes sense. You know, the more the government hands out, the more free money. You know, more people are just like, hey, you know what? This is more than I was making when I had my job. I'll just hang out here till the money runs out and then start looking for employment. And I'm telling you, the Joe Biden administration absolutely loves that.
Where was it? I was somewhere yesterday, Valerie.
Somebody looking for employees?
Well, and and it said now hiring $14 an hour. And I forget where it was. You know, Buc-ee's is out there hiring at $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. Amazon.
Yeah, they're at 15, and now they're getting ready to give their employees a raise.
Last night, Joe Biden on national a telecast that I did not watch, caught up with it overnight and into the morning. But last night, he once again touted, we've got to raise the minimum wage. Oh, we've got to raise the minimum. Let me ask you something. Think about this. If businesses were sitting around, the Democrats act as if businesses are sitting around waiting on the federal government to make them pay more than, what is it, $7.50 an hour? Is that correct, Jason Lee? I'm so disconnected in the Murphy compound.
Right now in Alabama.
$7.25?
Correct. And it varies by state, of course, but $7.25 in Alabama.
Right. And what I have long said, stand by it. If you are above the age of 21 or below the age of 65 and you're not working just to kind of supplement your retirement,
mm-hmm.
If you are above the age of 21 or below the age of 65 and able-bodied, and you go to work somewhere, and after 3 months, you're still making minimum wage, you're a loser. No, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again, okay? If you are above the age of 21 and not working like at a part-time, you know, because you're in school or whatever, or below the age of 65, and you work at a business for over 3 months, and you've not demonstrated your worth to the point where they give you a raise, even if they start you at minimum wage, which most businesses don't, if you're still at minimum wage after 3 months, you're a loser. You need to look in the mirror and figure out what's wrong in your life. And you damn right I'm serious. I'm dead serious. People don't make minimum wage long term. Good employees do not, because I want to keep good employees in my life if I'm a business owner. They start you at $15 an hour at Buc-ee's. It's a fracking gas station.
Right.
All you have to do is demonstrate a willingness to work. Businesses don't sit around waiting on the federal government to make them pay more money. They want good employees.
Absolutely.
I wish I could remember where it was. It was a big marquee. Mm-hmm. We start at $14 an hour.
And that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. And you're right that and here's the other side of it. You could have an employer, let's just in that window of what you're saying, that doesn't treat their employees correctly. Then what we would say is they're not running their business correctly, because what you want to do is, as you said, is to keep those good workers and to also give them that raise so that they stay with your company and that your company continues to thrive and move forward and grow.
And I know what you're thinking, guys. You're thinking, Matt, you're so mean. You're so mean.
It's a little dose of reality, but I understand what you're saying.
What I'm asking is that, tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me it is not on the individual to look themselves in a mirror and ask themselves. But it's so empowering. This is actually a positive thing that I'm trying to get across. It is so empowering to be able to look at yourself in a mirror and say, I determine my fate today. I determine where I'm going in my job today. I determine how good of a day today is going to be. Mm-hmm. I long-term determine what I'm going to make out of my life. We have that ability in America. It is the blessing that is America, that we can chart our own course. And obviously, I understand that obstacles, unbeknownst to you, wait at every corner. Mm-hmm. But if you have the attitude that you can overcome anything, you can overcome anything.
And more than likely, if you have that attitude, you will.
You will overcome it, right?
Will.
Now, if you don't, if you have the opposite, they just don't do. Why can't they pass the $15 minimum wage, man? If you have all of this, if you have this attitude of sitting around and waiting on somebody else to save you, guess what you do when an obstacle comes along? You sit around and wait for somebody to save you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Well, and again, when you go back to the federal government trying to shove $15 an hour down states' throats, here's the thing, that money, it almost feels, Joe Biden, do you understand how the economy works, how capitalism works, that money once and for all will be passed on to the consumer? The consumer ends up paying, let's say you charge $5 for a cheeseburger. Well, if you're going to be forced to pay workers $15 an hour and you're not quite ready to do that, well, the cost has to be absorbed somewhere, so the customer is going to end up absorbing that. And now the cheeseburger's not $5 anymore; it's $6 or $7.
Here's the way that it works, right? Because I understand. I'll give you a great example. Cumulus Media. I have a conversation with Jason Lee. I'll bring it home. Months ago, I know how valuable Jason Lee is. I have a part-time opening at Talk 99.5. I find out that Jason is planning to come back from Alaska to Alabama. I tell Jason, you've proven your worth in the past, and I know your worth in the future. I don't have a full-time position now. I have a part-time position. But you come back and you fill this part-time role, and I promise you this, when a full-time opening comes, you're going to get it. That's what demonstrating your value and your worth is all about.
Right.
And you are rewarded locally and globally, ultimately. Now, that comes with limitations. I couldn't just magically create a full-time position because I wanted to. I wanted to, but I couldn't. Mm-hmm. That's how the business relationship ought to work between, a rank and file employee and a manager and ownership. And it has nothing to do with the government. It is all about supply and demand. I don't know of any. I mean, y'all tell me, what businesses pay minimum wage now? I mean,
there may be, fast food restaurants or servers that make tips or things like that. Maybe they do get minimum wage. I would find that difficult to believe if you're a successful business that you would start your employees at minimum wage. I mean, who are you getting as employees? No offense. I mean, sometimes you got to take what you can take. But I'm just saying, if that's where you're starting, again, are you having a difficult time finding employees?
Maybe
you started a little higher so you get a little better quality of employee coming to look for business.
I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they're out
Yeah.
there, but I don't. Off the top of my head, I mean, I guess you could say maybe a mom and pop,
Little
convenience store, gas
something
station
like that,
or whatever.
yeah.
Or and look, I know that 16-year-olds go out and look for employment in the summertime because they want to earn a little extra money. I understand that. I understand that your 70-year-old retiree, they want to earn a little extra money. They're working at the boutique or whatever. I get those aspects of life. I'm not discounting that. I'm telling you, if you're in your work zone
where you need to be making the dollars so that you can retire down the road.
And look, I can relate a personal story. And these guys got mad at me at Winn-Dixie. I'm 15 years old. I did not want to work with my granddad anymore as a mechanic's assistant, basically. It was time to go get a job. So I got a work permit. I applied at a radio station. I got a job at a department store. And I was looking, I didn't like the job at the department store, just kind of.
That's kind of boring, huh?
And so I went and I applied at Winn-Dixie. And I got hired as a bag boy. I got hired at, I think we were making $3.85 an hour. That was minimum wage at the time. And I busted my butt. It was a game to me. How quickly we still had the paper sacks, the paper bags. And the game was how many people. I mean, I would bust it. People, oh wow, well you're doing a great job, that kind of thing. After about a month, it wasn't even a month.
Did you get tips? Did you get people tipping you
they
if
didn't
you took
like,
the
they
groceries
didn't
out?
They didn't like it, but if they slid you one.
There was one store that really frowns on that, but I think some other grocery stores
at the
used
time,
to tip them.
yeah, sure. Here's a buck.
Yeah.
Here's a quarter, Sonny. After about a month, the produce manager. Now, some of these guys have been bagging groceries for all summer, right?
Right.
After 3 weeks a month, produce manager has noticed me and comes over and says, "Hey, I have an opening in the produce department.
You want to come over?
I'll pay you $4.25."
Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So all of these other bag boys got mad at me because I jumped
stepped
them.
over them, yeah. Well, that's how life works.
How life works, man.
I mean, it's a good little lesson there. Right.
Because I see you loafing over there.
You can be a loafer. That's where you're going to stay right there. You can loaf right over there with more brown paper bags, right?
And I remember it to this day because it was because some of them were my friends at school, legit mad at me like I had done something wrong. And I thought, I don't think I'm the one that's doing something wrong.
No,
I don't think that.
No, and that's how it should work, just like that.
545-9950. We'd love to hear from you, and we are hearing from you. Matt in Trussville wants to take a shot at my argument. Okay, you take a shot at me, pal. Matt on Matt violence when we come back. It is Talk 99.5. Matt Murphy, Valerie Vining. Hey, make sure that our boy Steve and our boy Matt can hang in there. Going to get to him momentarily. Right now, we turn to the Matt and Val hotline where young Sarah Killian awaits from WVTM 13. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Matt, you made my day calling me a young Sarah.
Well, I mean, we were talking a few days ago about the anniversary of the tragedy of April 27th, and to hear you talking about being over in Tuscaloosa, that's
that would mean you're young.
That means you're young.
Sarah. Yes.
If you're around me, I've become the grumpy old man in the corner.
Working this morning shift, you don't feel young though.
Working this will make you old. By the way, working these hours. So what do you got going on today? Where are you at?
So we are talking about the FEMA vaccination site out in Bessemer at the Watermark Place. You know, it's been open for a full week now, and it's just nobody's really taking advantage of this. They've only vaccinated about 1,000 people out there, and they're capable of doing 1,000 people a day. So far less than what they could be doing out there. And, you know, the Jefferson County Department of Health, they just want to keep reminding folks, this is the easiest way to get it. You don't have to have an appointment. You don't have to have insurance. And if you need a ride out there, they'll come pick you up, take you out there, get your shot, and bring you back home. And the good news, too, you guys have a large viewing audience, so this is a good point to bring up to them. You don't have to live in Jefferson County. In fact, you don't even have to live in Alabama to come and get a vaccine here at this FEMA site. You know, this is a federal vaccination site out in Bessemer, so anyone can take advantage of this.
No, that's nice to know. That's good to know. You know, it's nice that I remember the days where we would talk about people struggling to find appointments to get vaccinations, and slowly but surely we're seeing the opening up of those to the point that it feels like anyone that needs or wants has the availability, right?
Absolutely. We were just talking about that on the news with UAB as well. You know, they've opened up all their sites, no appointments necessary. You can just drive up. And the percentage, the demand there at these sites have dropped so much that they may not even keep them open because there's just not a demand to get the vaccine right now. So if you're waiting to get the vaccine, don't wait. Go take advantage of these opportunities.
Great stuff, Sarah. Always good to hear from you on radio. Always good to see you at WVTM 13, and we'll talk again tomorrow morning.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care. All right. See you soon.
You know, that's interesting. Are we getting to that saturation point where you have all these sites set up and very few people are coming by to get the vaccine? Are we getting close to the point where people say, okay, I've gotten the vaccine, and there are very few that are left that are saying, hey, I don't really want it right now, maybe later.
Well, and you hear we've heard the phrase used often, most often in a negative way, vaccine hesitancy, right?
Yeah.
Those that are vaccine hesitant. How many people in America how many people in Alabama by percentage do you think are quote unquote vaccine hesitant? In other words, how many of us are going to say, nah, I'm good, for a while at least?
I think that we're probably on the high end compared to other states in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're probably one of the higher states that's kind of just holding off a little bit from getting it.
Do you think, we made reference to this yesterday, do you think, Valerie, if Donald Trump publicly encouraged his supporters to get the vaccine, if that would move the needle?
I think it would. I don't know to what degree, but yes, I think we'd see a much higher percentage.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt wants to take me down.
The fight is coming up, everybody. They got their gloves on. They're ready to duke it out.
Steve calling in, 2 available, 545-9950 is the number, 545-9950. Love to hear from you as we continue this morning. 1 down, 3 to go. It's Matt and Val on top. Oh, Ani's coming later, by the way.
I know. Very excited about it.
Tony Cooper's coming later.
Very excited
today.
about that as well.
Stacey Nichols is coming.
And that's really
sooner.
get ready.
Yeah, that's like, well, it's like right now.
Mm-hmm.